Hello everyone, so welcome back. I hope we're all doing really well. I hope everyone out there is good. It's Friday today and I have had a very long week of screwing and drilling and DIYing, and I thought, you know what, for today's video I just want a little bit of a break. I want to sit down and chat to you all and just take this nice and slow and gentle, so I hope that's going to be okay with you. I was kind of racking my brains for a topic to actually talk about, or should I say ramble about, for 20 minutes, and I thought it's actually been a while since I updated you on my skincare. This channel used to be very skincare based. I used to talk about it all the time, and skincare is still one of my number one loves. I'm obsessed with skincare, even so, more so now than makeup. I think skincare like completely trumps it. If you have good skincare, your makeup is going to go on so well and so much better regardless of what you're actually using. So it's a topic I love to talk about and a topic I love to enjoy myself, and I'm sure there are many of you out there that feel the same way. So grab yourselves a cup of tea and a biscuit. Rich tea would be my pick, although I know that's a controversial choice. Rich teas though, 100% best biscuits ever made. This is coming from the girl who loves vanilla milkshakes and plain cupcakes the most, so take that with a pinch of salt if you will. So skincare. I did a video, I think it was probably last month by now. Days, weeks, months are just gelling into one at the moment, but I kind of went through a lot of my routine. That was more of a pamper day, so I was doing extras like masks, exfoliators, things like that. But what I wanted to sort of go through and talk to you about today is my core basic everyday skincare routine, which doesn't really change all that much. If it does, I'm just swapping out and trying new products, but the general gist of the routine and the steps that I do are mostly the same, and I've kind of really whittled down my skincare over the years. This will be so relative because skincare to some people is a bar of soap and a tap. Those people love to make themselves known in the comments of my videos because I use way too many products, and I think that's totally fine. Oh my god, if I could just use soap and water and have incredible skin, I would look no further. That would be it for me. I'd save so much money. But it's something so enjoyable for me. It's kind of like a ritual at the end of the day. It just zens me out. When I go into the bathroom, whether it takes me, you know, a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, even 20 sometimes, that is my time to just be with myself and my skin. That is my self-care. So yes, I wouldn't say I have the most minimal of skincare routines, and I wouldn't say I have the most full, over the top and product heavy of routines, but basically do you. You know, what works for some may not work for others. What works for me isn't necessarily going to work for you. Whatever makes you feel good and you enjoy doing, that is where you want to be sitting. So my skin, for reference, is a bit of a tricky one. For a long time when I was a teenager, it was very oily and very kind of red. I had a lot of breakouts. I wouldn't say I had acne, I just had very normal, like, hormonal teenage skin. I was lucky enough not to have to experience that because I know it can be absolutely just the most painful and like debilitating thing. It really can affect not only how you feel about yourself on the outside but on the inside too. It's a really difficult thing to deal with, especially when you're a teenager and you're going through just the rainbow of all things. So although when I was younger I hated my skin because it looked like that, I realise now that I was actually very lucky. So yes, for a long time it was oily, kind of combination. I think it was more down to the fact that I used like a Neutrogena Clean and Clear stripping face wash every day and didn't really moisturise. I don't know what I was thinking. But as I've gotten older and my skin's kind of levelled out, it's very much on the dehydrated and dry side. I would actually love to see what my skin would feel like if I drank my 4 litres of water a day, if I had my 10 portions of fruit and veg and, you know, sweated as much as possible. I feel like perhaps then it wouldn't be so dry, but with what I'm dealing with now, it generally is quite dry. I need a lot of heavy moisturising products and deeper ones too. At the same time though, I do get some build up around my cheeks and my nose. I kind of get like those little under the skin pimply spots that just need like clearing out every so often. That I kind of avoid doing myself. That's where I will call in the professionals. There's nothing better than having a good extraction based facial where someone just sits there for an hour and, you know, squeezes all your spots. It's heavenly, and the fact that we can pay people for that service is just what I love about the modern world. When I said I was going to ramble, I really wasn't kidding, was I? So, knowing all of that now, what I'm going to talk you through is basically my morning skincare routine, what I use and all the products, how I use them, and then how I change that up for the evening and substitutions I make and what those extra products do for me. I actually have two sort of avenues or options that I'll go down in the morning, depending on what I'm going to do. So, if I am going to go out for a run, which I do try to do first thing, I'll just wake up and throw clothes on and try and leave the house in some kind of running capacity. I won't do my skincare straight away. Same if I'm going to the gym or going to a class. What I will do is use two products. I like to kind of freshen up my skin in the morning, even if I am just going to work out, because I feel like it makes me feel more awake and it definitely helps me exercise better. I don't know if that's just a mental thing, a placebo, but it works for me. So I will literally grab two things. I will use the Claris Water Comfort One Step Cleanser. This has been one of my favourite products forever. I've had so many of these over the years. It's basically just cleansing water, which I 100% would not recommend to use as a daily cleanser. This is not going to get off what you need it to in terms of makeup and dirt and oils. But for me in the morning, when I've already done a heavy skincare routine in the evening and my skin is still kind of, you know, cleansed from that, I'll just quickly swipe this over and it freshens everything up so much. It smells amazing. I use this so much now that the smell of this I associate with running and exercising. I'm going to talk about these despite the fact that I have mentioned them repeatedly. Honestly, these have changed the way I do my skincare. They have changed the amount of product that I use. They've changed the amount of waste that I generate as well during my skincare. And they're reusable cotton pads. Such a simple idea, but really when you think about it, one that makes a huge amount of difference. I probably went through maybe a pack, 2-3 packs of those cotton rounds every month. I'd use one for every different product, so whether that was the cleanser in the morning, makeup removers, toners, exfoliators, so many different things and so many different cotton pads that would just be thrown away, and now I can just wash them all. These ones I got from Amazon. I've got quite a few different ones. They all tend to do pretty much the same thing. You just pop them back into this little bag when you're done with them, chuck that in the washing machine with your normal like towels or sheet cycle, and that is it. So simple, but such an easy swap to make. So if I could recommend doing one thing for your skincare, is getting a pack of those. So if I am just, you know, working out from home, I'll go straight ahead and do that, and the cleanser will be my only product. But if I'm going outside, I will obviously be putting an SPF on, especially running, because you're outside for a prolonged period of time. I mean, SPF should be going on your face even if you step out the door for, you know, 5-20 minutes. Most important product. I cannot hammer that home enough. So this is the SPF I'm using at the moment. It's from Ren. It's the Clean Screen Mineral SPF. It's a mattifying sunscreen, which I don't love. Matte and mattified skin is not really my cup of tea, especially being a bit drier, but this is a great sunscreen. It also is a very clean beauty product because it doesn't have any of the chemicals, which I didn't realise SPF specifically has, that can be very damaging and harmful to coral reefs. It's the way that everything, you know, ends up in the sea and the ocean. Apparently SPF and sunscreen and sun cream are one of the worst things for the environment, so it's good to know that this is not the case. This is an SPF 30. Normally I would go 50. That's my comfort zone. I really like to make sure my skin is protected. So if they start making this in a 50, I will happily jump on board with that. But I'm definitely, once this is finished up, gonna maybe switch back to a 50 and try and find one that is clean too. So that is kind of like my optional extra. It's not the main bulk of my routine. If I am just, you know, going straight into my skincare for the day, or if I've come back from my run, this is where I'll start my proper skincare. So I will go straight on to cleanser. I have a love affair with this product. First of all, this is not the Oscar Renaissance Cleansing Balm. I can feel gasping coming from the other side of the screen, because that cleanser I just use religiously for years, maybe like a quarter of my life. But recently I have switched to this, and it may be the fact that I don't have an Oscar currently, I don't have one to use, but this I just love. It's from Roche-Posay. It's the most simple of products. I love everything that Roche-Posay do. I think if I actually had to switch to one skincare brand, it would be this. They just have such simple, like no frills, very French pharmacy based products, and that's what I love. This is the Makeup Remover Milk. I do not use this correctly, I'm fully aware. You're supposed to put this on a cotton pad and take your makeup off like that. It does not work if you use it like that. I don't know why it says that on the back. This I basically use as a cream cleanser. I pump it out into my hands, I massage it all over my skin when it's dry, and it just is the most beautiful, pure, soothing, moisturizing feeling cleanser. I would use this more so in the evenings to take my makeup off. That's how I originally came across this. It is the best thing for breaking down makeup, by the way. I don't know what it does. It does something, you massage it in, it takes mascara off, it takes the heaviest of makeup off so well. But I started using it in the mornings because I think I'd run out of cleanser. I started putting this on my skin bare, and it was the most amazing thing. It just does something that I can't explain. It feels so nice. Excellent skincare vernacular there. I just have really enjoyed using this. I've carried on using it, I've repurchased it, and now this is what I reach for in the mornings. I just want to feel that creamy goodness on my skin. I want to take it off with a nice warm cloth, and once I do that, my skin is just left feeling so plumped. This is just a milk, it's not oily, it's just so plain and simple. But I love it. I can't use it enough. I can't rave about it enough. So the Roche-Posay Makeup Remover Milk is a massive staple in my routine, day and night. So once I've used that, I really have, like I said, especially in the morning, stripped everything back. So I don't use a toner really, unless I, I'm taken up in the moment and feel like it, which is not very often. I don't really use any sprays. I go straight onto a serum, and it is always a hyaluronic acid based serum. It's always a hyaluronic acid based serum. It's my favourite skincare ingredient, I think. Hyaluronic acid for dry and dehydrated skin, you just can't beat it. In fact, hyaluronic acid for any skin type. I think if I was using this when I had oily skin, it would have fixed it. Hyaluronic acid is nothing like any of the acids that you associate with exfoliation. It's not an AHA or a BHA. It is purely made up of natural moisturizing ingredients. It is what your skin already has in it, and what helps keep that moisture and hydration locked in. All hyaluronic acid based serums that I have ever tried or used have always been like a gel. There is no oiliness, there is no stickiness or greasy texture. They just sink in basically to nothing, and that is why hyaluronic acid is so excellent. It just gets right deep down into your skin. This is the serum I've been using at the moment. It's from The Ordinary. This is their hyaluronic acid 2% plus B5. As far as these very simple hyaluronic acid based serums go, I've used the Sarah Chapman one, which I adore, which to be fair is identical to this. That one is £55, I think. This one is £5. So, do the maths there. I think I'd probably rather be reaching for this one with the amount that I use it, that is, as well. So I'll just do like a squeeze of this, half a pipette, all over my face, pat it in, press it everywhere, down my neck, onto my chest, which is something I've been thinking more about recently. I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I am approaching 30 in the next couple of years, and I'm starting to think about, this area more so than this area, because this is going to tell you how old I am. And then after that, I will go straight on to moisturising my skin. I've really kind of cut out that big chunk of product in between cleansing and moisturising. So I'll do my eye cream first, usually, because I want to kind of keep heavier products away from that area and make sure that the eye cream is touching them first, because it's a lot lighter. I've really enjoyed using this Glossier Bubblewrap eye cream. It's actually an eye and lip plumping cream. I've never used this on my lips. It's really great. I like the applicator. It's so simple. You just literally like pump out a tiny bit. I like that the eye cream has a pump. You don't have to stick your finger in. And I feel like they specifically have designed this to work really well underneath their concealers. That is what I use under my eyes, the Glossier concealer as well. And the two of these just gel and mesh together so well. I've never had creasing after using this, and sometimes some eye creams can be so heavy and so rich that they do just make your makeup slide around so much. The Kiehl's avocado eye cream is terrible for that, although it is an amazing product. If you're using that, I feel like it's definitely a nighttime one. What I'm thinking with this, as we come on to the evening portion of this video, I'll talk a bit more about it, but it's, it's just for moisturizing, it's just for hydration. And again, I feel like eyes are the windows to the soul, and they're the place that I'm gonna start aging already. Actually, who am I kidding here? I've started showing signs of aging, so maybe I need to start thinking about some kind of aging anti-line cream around there. That'll be a fun time when I switch over to that. And then moisturizer. Mine's fallen on the floor. With moisturizers, I am a little bit of an unfaithful hussy. I use whatever I can find. I think it's because I've never really come across a moisturizer that's just wowed me to the point where I can use it every day and still love it. I mean, that's not necessarily true actually. There's quite a few moisturizers that I've encountered over my time that are brilliant. The Roche-Posay Tolerian is an incredible moisturizer. Like I said, if I had to just use one brand, that would be the one I went for. I also love Charlotte Tilbury's Magic Cream, so rich, and the Glossier Rich Cream too. But I don't know, my skin kind of changes with moisturizers. I can use the same cleanser every single day and be happy, but sometimes I just feel like I need something a bit more, something a bit less. Texture is a big thing for me. I'll really enjoy using gel creams for a long time, and then I'll absolutely hate the feeling of them. It's very much something to do with my mind and how it works. But at the moment, this is what I'm using and I'm enjoying it. So I'll use it until it runs out and then we'll see where we go. I think it's more the fact that I just don't ever feel the need most of the time to repurchase a moisturizer once I finished it. I'm happy to try something new and keep exploring. So this is from Marc Jacobs. It's the Youthquake Hydra Full Retexturizing Gel Cream. I really like the packaging this comes in, and I have no idea why. It looks like a little yellow sunny pudding. Not the most appetizing of skincare products. With gel creams, having quite dry skin, sometimes they can just be absolutely terrible. They can feel like they're doing nothing, like you haven't even put them on. They'll just be absorbed straight in. This one is quite different. It feels like a gel and it feels very cooling. It's great to use, especially when it's a lot warmer, but somehow this one has enough to it that it makes my skin feel very comfortable throughout the day. And I have been spending a lot of time not wearing makeup at the moment. That's when I particularly notice if my moisturizer isn't doing enough for me. And this one, you know, cuts the mustard. I am just throwing out strange sayings today, aren't I? I really like it. I'm happy with it. So that's what I'm using. Obviously, I will then use an SPF. I haven't been putting this on most days because I know I'm not going to be leaving the house. I have not been taking advantage of my daily walk. I've been running maybe like twice a week, but that is about it, and then taking the dog out when she actually wants to go. So days I know I'm leaving the house, I will put this on, but other than that, I've been letting my skin kind of just do its own thing. And then really the last thing in my actual skincare routine in the morning is lip balm. I use the Glossier lip balm. We all know this fact. This is the mango one, which, you know, is just the only thing for me. Love it. It's got a slight tint of pink to it. It makes my lips look really healthy, and there is nothing that moisturizes like this. I don't know how I'd explain it. If you've never used the Balm.coms, I'd say actually all the formulas are a tiny bit different. Some of them, one of them has glitter in it. Avoid that one at all costs. It is not good. But the rest of them, they're kind of somewhere in between Vaseline and a really hydrating, creamy lip balm. Don't be scared off by the comparison to Vaseline because I hate using that on my lips. I hate the way it sits, I hate the way it doesn't really moisturize. But this has that kind of protective layer that gives, but at the same time also really moisturizes and goes deep down too. So I just love the Glossier Balm.coms, and I think they're also in great little tubes. You know, you don't have to touch anything, you can just put them on. One other thing that will sometimes be incorporated into my skincare in the morning, and this I don't really know if I should include as skincare. It really sits on the fence to me between makeup and skincare, and it's the Glossier Futuredew. This is such a strange and interesting unicorn of a product. It even has holographic packaging. It's an oil serum hybrid. That's how they describe it. To me, I use this kind of like a primer before my makeup. It gives the glossiest skin. There's no tint, there's no glitter, there's nothing in this other than it just being very oil based and giving like a real shiny like glass skin finish. If I'm not wearing makeup though, I will just use this as the final step in my skincare because I know it's going to keep everything kind of locked in, and it's really going to keep my skin looking fresh all day long. So it's kind of a funny one. Sometimes I use it like makeup, sometimes I use it like skincare, but I always will use it after I've done everything else. So after all of these products are on my skin, I wouldn't use it, you know, in the slot that serum would normally go. I think it needs to go on top of everything. So that's my final little extra step if I want my skin to just look bam, disco ball glowy, but you know, that's very much an optional thing for me. I can't believe I've already been talking for over half an hour. Wow. And we are only halfway through. Who's enjoying this so far? He's gone through 6 cups of tea already. I really could actually do with a cup of tea. I might text Joe in a minute and be very, very cheeky. So that's my morning skincare. I always feel like the morning portion of your skincare routine is really just like to promote everything you've done in the evening and to keep it going. It's not really the time I like to treat my skin. It's not when I kind of want to use those products that really are going to make a difference and really actually change like the texture and the makeup of my skin. So in the evening, that's where those products kind of come into play a bit more. So I will just cleanse as normal. If I'm wearing a lot of makeup, I sometimes do feel the need to remove that first. It's more of a psychological thing again. I like the feeling of that double cleanse. So I'll probably use a micellar water for that. This one is, again, La Roche-Posay. It's their Micellar Water Ultra. I've definitely used a couple of different micellars in my time. Bioderma, which just seems to be, you know, the most popular and the one that everybody uses and loves, is not at the top of the list for me. I've definitely found ones that are better and more affordable too. I mean, it's not the most expensive, but it's also not the most affordable. The La Roche-Posay one is great. It gets off makeup very, very well. Eye makeup too. My favourite ever micellar water is actually the one from Nivea, the Sensitive Nivea. I think it's like $2.99. It was the last time I bought it, and it's amazing. But I have a massive bottle of this, so it's what I'm using right now, and I'm very happy to do so. It's a great micellar water. Again, I will go in with one of my reusable cotton pads, put that all over, and then just, you know, gently press around my eyes to begin with and take the rest of my makeup off. Obviously, I'm not really rubbing and being abrasive enough to remove everything. That is why cleansing as well is so important, even if you're using a micellar water or a wipe. Please don't ever use makeup wipes unless you're on a plane or in the middle of a field. Even then, I'd have to really be in a pinch. So I will take makeup off with micellar waters. I'll cleanse again, because cleansing your skin, even if it looks clean, is so important, just to make sure you're getting every last bit of dirt and grime out of your pores. If I've used a very stubborn mascara or something like an eyeliner that just won't come off, and I have a little bit of pandering going on, that's when I'll reach for something a little bit more intense in the makeup removing department. This is the Glossier Milky Oil. It's just one of those like buy phase, shake it up and use type of eye makeup removers. These I find are the best, because when the oil is introduced, it really will just take everything off your eyes and you don't even have to barely touch your skin. They're really, really great. The Claris one as well is amazing, the instant eye makeup remover. Very, very similar formulas with those two. So now would be the time, if I am masking, if I'm doing an exfoliation with actual exfoliating beads, which is something I maybe do twice a month, 3 times. That's when I'll do all of that right after cleansing. There is an exfoliating step that I do take every single day, maybe every day, every other day, depending on how I feel. This just really keeps my skin in check. It prevents me having to use manual exfoliators more often, because it helps to just strip away those little skin cells that do build up, and it just makes my skin glowy like no other. These are the Elemis Dynamic Resurfacing Facial Pads. I have come to really enjoy these exfoliating pads, which is a little bit difficult for me because I feel like it goes against everything that I'm saving, you know, by using these. It's the only really disposable part, I guess, of my skincare routine, but they are very small and very like thin and tiny little pads. I know I could be using something that is pourable on top of one of the reusable ones, but so far I just haven't found a product, a liquid based chemical exfoliator that I like enough and that is, you know, not too stripping, because a lot of the big name ones, the Pixie Glow Tonic, Alpha H, Liquid Gold, they are too much for my skin, and that's because they're all very glycolic acid based, and I have come to learn in my various skincare explorations that glycolic is just not for me. It's too much for my skin. So the reason I love these is that they are lactic acid based, they're mainly made up of lactic acid, and that is such a gentle acid, still exfoliating. It won't do as much for you as a glycolic, but it will still resurface your skin. It will make it look fresher and brighter and just take off, you know, that top layer that is causing the dehydration and perhaps like the blocking of your pores. So I will use one of these every night. If I do use it every night, I will just swipe this all over. I'll take it down my neck or my chest, and then I'll even do the tops of my hands. Because I'm kind of a bit paranoid about those getting like a little bit age spotty. Not that I ever go out in the sun or ever don't protect them. That's another thing I actually do. If I'm putting my SPF on, I'll put the excess on the tops of my hands. And then is where I'll use my serum. So my evening serum is different to my morning one. It is my good old faithful Estée Lauder Advanced Night Repair Synchronized Recovery Complex. I've been using this since I was maybe 18. I discovered this when I used to work at Boots and hop on over to the Estée Lauder counter to try skincare out. I've been using it, wow, that's 10 years I've been using it for. This range, they have a lot more products now, they've really branched out, but this original Advanced Night Repair Serum, I'd say this is one of the greatest skincare products of all time. It has enough heritage and longevity to say that it is one of the greatest things. It is a hyaluronic acid based serum, which I didn't find out until, you know, a few years after I was using it and I started really thinking about ingredients in my products. Just really goes to show why I loved it so much. It has my favorite thing in it. This serum, when they say night repair, it really does repair your skin, no matter what's kind of your issue. If you're having some kind of skincare complaint, whether it's a breakout, dryness, redness, irritation, dehydration lines, lack of radiance, anything, this just seems to fix it overnight. That is the power of hyaluronic acid. I will put this on and I will be confident that I'll wake up in the morning with skin that looks better. And I think there are very few products out there that really you can make that claim with. This is expensive stuff, and whenever I run out of a bottle I do weep a little bit inside. But it's just the one. It's an incredible product, and one that I will continue to use until I have skin no more. It is just the best thing. So that will be my serum for the evening. I'll go on with my moisturizer, probably the same one. I'm still just reaching for the Marc Jacobs one in the evening too. And then if I do feel like I need something a bit richer, because when I go to bed I like to feel like my skincare is on my skin. I know some of you out there hate that feeling and really don't enjoy it, and you want to make sure all your products have sunk in and that you can't feel them. That's totally fine and up to you, but I like to wake up still feeling like my skin is being hydrated by my products. So if I really want to lock all that moisture in, I will use a facial oil. I used to use these every single night and I would use them before my moisturizer, and I've kind of stopped doing that now because I felt like it was too much for my skin. I felt like it was too heavy, and I have quite a dry skin, and that for me was just a bit much. So I sort of switched out and I changed the order in which I was doing it. So I went for my moisturizer first and then the oil, and I've really been enjoying the way that that feels and that works for me. This one is from Kiehl's. It's the Midnight Recovery Concentrate. It's kind of marketed to be like a similar product or along the same lines as the Estée Lauder Advanced Night Repair. A replenishing elixir of pure essential oils and distilled botanicals to visibly restore the appearance of skin by morning. What I like about this most is that it is a very lightweight oil. It's very neutral and very easy to blend with other products. So this, I will just take a few drops of on my hand and really like work it in, press it into my moisturizer, and that is just a really great finishing step for me, just to keep everything locked in. Obviously facial oils for me are just one of the best things, and I really enjoy trying new ones and using different things, but so far I've just kind of really stuck to this for the time being for the last couple of months, and it's served me well. I feel like my skin at the moment, this is going to be a bold claim, but I feel like my skin is the best it has ever been right now. And, you know, it's probably a lot to do with age, skin leveling out, things not being so much of an issue, diet, of course, and everything you put into your body makes such an effect on your skin. But right now I feel like my skin is the best it's been for a really long time. I'm not wearing foundation at the moment. I'm only wearing concealer under my eyes, and, you know, it's better than I could have expected back in my teen years when I hated looking at my face. So that's really why I've kind of stripped things back, and I've really stuck and stayed with these products that I have been using. That is not to say that my skin doesn't have its moments. At the beginning of all of this that we're experiencing right now, it freaked out. It had a very big temper tantrum. I think my skin is more affected by stress nowadays. If something does erupt or occur, I do have one thing that I use that I kind of swear by a little bit, It's old and beaten and battered, but it's this Effaclar AI. What is this called? It's all rubbed off. It says Targeted Imperfection Corrector, and this is from the Roche-Posay as well. If my skin wasn't as well behaved and I did suffer still from a lot of breakouts and oiliness, I would definitely go for the Effaclar range from the Roche-Posay. They do some amazing things for blemish prone skin, for acne. The Effaclar, I think it's the Effaclar Duo, I used to rave about. I think it's one of the widely acknowledged products that is a great thing for acne prone skin. So that whole range I would definitely look more into if my skin wasn't as dry as it is now. One thing I forgot to mention that I do also switch out in the evenings is my eye cream. This is a lot more of an intense, rich, balmy eye cream. It's from Guerlain and it is called the Eye Contour Care, I think. I think they're all made with royal jelly or something like that. Really rich and really like heavenly, gorgeous products to use. So that is the eye cream I'm using currently, just because I feel like it gives a bit more protection overnight on my eye area. Again, I probably should be starting to think about using something a little bit more heavy duty. So if anyone has a recommendation for a great like starter anti-aging eye cream, come my way please. And that, I think, is actually it. Oh, there is one last thing. I switch up my Glossier Balm.com in the evening and I use the mint one. This one is completely clear, there's no tint to it, but it smells minty and it smells like toothpaste. So that I keep in my bedside table drawer, and I just chuck that on as the very last thing in the evening once I've done my skincare, brushed my teeth and gotten into bed. Okay, so who is out of breath right now and needing a lie down? I am. I could chat honestly about all of these things for so much longer. But I'm going to spare you that and leave you here. I'm going to leave everything linked down below that I've talked about as well, and try and include the other things that I have mentioned if I can. But that is my skincare routine at the moment. I'm so happy with it. I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 products there. I don't think that is too bad. I'd love to go and see some of my older skincare videos. I'll link a playlist up here if you do want to go and watch early 20s me talking about the skin when my skin is very different actually, and you know, maybe some of those products were better for me then but not necessarily anymore. I'll leave that linked up there for you if you want to go and see those. But I feel like I am in a very happy place with that right now. Skincare gives me life. These products in particular are my tiny little children. So I'm gonna leave you guys with that. If you use any of these and you love them, or if you have any other skincare recommendations that you want to share with everyone, something that maybe has changed your life, like this little thing here that I haven't used yet or discovered, I would love to know. I'm still always so open to discovering and trying new skincare. It's one of my favorite things to do. So if you feel like you have something that is worth shouting about, please let us all know down there, because I'm sure the comments will be very scrollable for this video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you all later. Bye.